good.
Hi, it's Alia and Terry.
Hi.
And we're at one of our properties in Flint, Michigan called Flint Store All. We just purchased this property about 6 to 8 weeks ago. And so we're taking our second tour of the property and taking a look to see what has been done in the last couple months of ownership. And so we'll just give you a little breakdown of what we've observed.
Yeah, so what we've got here, we've got 300 units. Many of the doors need to be repaired, but we're doing that little by little. You don't need to repair everything all at once. You can spread out your rehab costs over time as you need them, because we're coming in, initially it was in the upper 50s, low 60s percentage as far as being occupied. So we've got a little room already. In just the short time that we've had it, we're up in the mid 70s, was it,
Yes,
Darius?
ma'am, 73%.
73%. We've got Darius behind the camera. He's
Hello.
our property manager here doing an awesome job. He was at another property on the other side of town and working there part-time and was interested in coming full-time, and we jumped on that. So he's doing a great job here. So we're getting that up to speed here. We've also got, in addition to the 300 units, we've got a warehouse that is 2 stories. It's rented right now out on the bottom, but we're looking at finishing off the top and renting that out to the same tenants, actually. And what was it, over 2,000 square feet?
It's well over 2,000
Yeah,
square feet.
up
It feels
there.
like 4,000 square feet
It's
up
huge.
at the top. It's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of potential. A lot of it's kind of undone, you know, open walls. And so somebody has the ability to come in and really kind of finish that out and make it what it is that they need it to do. We also have a lot of parking on site, as well as a pole barn. So the pole barn can hold probably about a dozen vehicles depending on how you configure it, but it's interior, so you've got a couple boats, you've got a couple plastic cars in there.
Yeah, with like a thick layer of dust all across them.
Yes.
Just wash me on it.
We have a few units that are on the interior, about 70 to 80 units that are on the inside of the walls, so that if somebody was concerned about you know, the exterior, a lot of people like these exterior ones because they can just drive their truck up to it and unload.
It's easier.
Other people like the interior ones because they're a little more weatherproof and they're very good condition. We have, let's just kind of pan here, follow me here, stay with me. Over here you'll see this is our warehouse, the 2-story warehouse with the office, and then behind all of this and over to the side of our vehicles there, you can see the U-Haul. So we're planning to put more U-Haul trucks over here, as well as more parking storage in the back. Already there's a number of, there's a few semi-trucks and vehicles parked in the back, but there's plenty of room
there's
for
a
more.
lot
There's
of room
probably
back
room
there.
for, I would say, I mean, even if you were just lining up the semi-trucks, you could probably get what, 20?
Oh yeah,
Easily.
I
20,
think
30, yeah.
20,
Yeah.
30 in
I mean,
there.
or easily
yeah,
if you were
easily.
just doing trucks and vehicles and boats, you could probably get 40 or so vehicles back there. So it's a huge missed opportunity from the previous owner. He did have some rented out, but you know, you start marketing that, and that's a key thing to bringing up your occupancy and your income levels on a property.
Yeah, and I think the previous owner, how we acquired it in this condition, he was just running out of money. And he was running short on finances and just, I think, had other issues going on in his life. And so he was in a foreclosure situation. And so we actually worked with him. He was very friendly with us and wanting us to take this over and handing it over to us, and even stayed on a little bit afterwards, right, Darius?
Yes, ma'am.
To help us out and get us all transitioned. So it was a perfect opportunity, and that's what we see with a lot of our properties. It might be somebody that's retiring, or maybe they passed away and left it to the kids, and the kids just don't want to do anything with it, or somebody like this owner that was just having financial difficulty or just moving on in their life in some way, shape, or form. And so we get it at a point where it's anywhere between 40 to 60% occupied, and then we can come in and kind of do some of our marketing tactics, fix up what we need to fix up, and then start to get that occupancy up, driving up towards 85% is really where we want to see it.
Right, and so some of the tactics that we use, there's no website, or there was no website when we bought this property. So we just registered the domain name. We're working with a company that specializes in SEO marketing for self-storage companies.
Search engine optimization.
Yeah, search engine optimization. so that when people are keyword searching on Google, which is where about 70–80% of clients are coming from these days, they're on their cell phone, they're on their laptops, they're looking quickly, you know, they might be in the process of moving somewhere new. And so they're doing keyword searching, and we want to be the first ones to pop up in Flint. And so that's what we're targeting, is, you know, making sure that the website exists, first of all, but that it's also search engine friendly. Another thing that we're looking at is the signage. So this property is a little bit off the beaten path from a really high traffic main road. So we want to take advantage of that visibility of at least a sign, if we can coordinate with one of the owners that owns property down at the corner end of the street here. Really looking to see if we can build that relationship and get some signage out there to indicate U-Haul and storage is down this way.
Yeah, signage is really key. You want to have big bold letters, you want it to say storage, and you want your phone number there.
Yeah.
So that's, signage is huge.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that we'll certainly look into doing and getting fixed up.
One of the more visible things that Darius has done to the property just in a very short period of time is, I mean, you can see that there's some foliage behind us, but it's this high. When we got it, it was this high. So people had to kind of like wade through the jungle in order to get to their unit.
Yeah. And
Study.
And that's an easy fix, really, right? You just come in with a weed whacker, maybe some Roundup if you need it, and get that cut. You just have to stay on top of it, and you need somebody diligent, like our great property manager here, to stay on top of it and do it once a week to make sure it stays controlled and where it is.
Right, yeah. Another thing too is looking at your equipment. So if you acquire a property and your property manager doesn't have the equipment that it needs, think about scaling that in as you're cash flowing your property. You know, really think about, well, what do they need in order to do their job well? And I think that's a big miss that some property managers or property owners don't pay attention to. We've acquired a number of properties where they were so controlling, yet not giving the reins or not giving the equipment that the property managers needed to do their job properly.
Yeah.
So it either demotivated them, or they were just unable to physically do the things that kept the property looking good.
Yeah, and we see that a lot too, is when we take over these properties, many times you've got a great property manager already in place, and you, like Alia said, you just give them the tools, you give them respect, and you listen to what is needed. I mean, they're on the property more than you are, and so they know what's going on, and many of them have really great relationships with the customers. They're very tight. They know who's paying on time. They know who's paying late, but will still come through, but maybe a week late, but then you get a late fee with it. So
So did we mention the auction?
Oh, the auction, yeah.
So speaking of delinquent tenants, we have a number of delinquent tenants that we inherited. And
which is typical.
Which is typical, right? Especially if you've got something that's gone through, where the property itself has gone through like a foreclosure situation, where the manager wasn't really paying attention to what was going on. So you have people that got in the habit of being late here and there. So that's something that we're also working with the tenants to turn around. A handful of the tenants might end up losing some of their items, while the other ones will get caught up, if not in full, at least partially of the way from where they are in their delinquency. And that actually gives your revenue a quick little boost that allows you to buy, you know, maybe some cleanup equipment or do some more repairs on the property. So that's one of the things that we'll be looking at doing here in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah. So all in all, a great property. We've got some work to do, but we're getting there. But we've got the bones in place and a number of options to get some great cash flow, not just from the units themselves, but also from the parking situation and from the warehouse. So great property, a great find, and great property manager behind the camera with us as well.